Hi there, Gareth here again. As mentioned in a past video about sport idioms, I was going to do a video about the top 5 boxing idioms. These are possibly more common than some of the others I've mentioned before. Boxing tends to have quite a lot of idioms. From terminology it's used a lot. The first one I'm going to mention is a low blow or below the belt. These are both in a boxing context mean the same thing, because the belt will be the waist height. You're not supposed to hit lower than this for obvious reasons. It's dangerous, unsportsmanly, against the rules. So anything below waist height or where the belt would be considered a low blow or below the belt. It's against the rules in boxing. So when you say something's a low blow or below the belt, it would be saying something very unnecessary, it's wrong, it's crossed the line of what's acceptable to the point of being unethical. So you could say, saying something bad about somebody's family is below the belt, like you shouldn't do it, it's wrong. It's like punching somebody around the groin is also wrong in boxing and generally in life, obviously. That's a way of criticising somebody's lack of ethics, saying that's wrong, you shouldn't do that, it's against the rules, that's against what's ethical and okay. Can't do that. Number 2, Saved by the Bell. There's been a really cheesy television program from the USA called Saved by the Bell. The terminology actually comes from boxing. So when somebody's knocked down, so they've been punched and they've hit the floor, there is a count of 10. So if that count, the rounds, if there's less than 10 seconds in the round and the referee finishes count of 10 before the bell goes to say the end of the round, you're saved by the bell. It's not considered a knockout because the count isn't complete. I believe if the referee thinks you are incapable to continue, he can give a technical knockout, where the referee's discretion to say this isn't a safe fight to continue, this is over. But the saved by the bell, you'll get the bell before the knockout's been declared, so the knockdown was too close to the bell for the end of the round. Doesn't happen that often in boxing, but when you say saved by the bell, you mean you were in a bad situation, but something's happened to stop the bad situation and get you out of trouble. If you're giving a speech and it's not going well, and the fire alarm goes off, and it gets you out of this situation, this bad speech, ding ding ding, saved by the bell, good situation. Doesn't get used a lot, but it does get used sometimes, and it's quite an interesting one. A third one I'm going to mention is to throw the towel in. If you are the trainer of the boxer, be it the coach, personal doctor or whatever, you're responsible for the fighter. If they are getting a very heavy beating to the point it's damaging their health, they'd always have a towel. They would throw their towel into the ring and the referee stops the fight. So when you throw the towel in, metaphorically speaking, so away from the boxing ring, you quit. You don't want to suffer more in something, so you're just like, that's it, throw the towel in. You were struggling to get good grades at university, you decide, I've had enough of this, that's it, I'm going to throw the towel in, had enough of that. Quite often it's a criticism of somebody. You could say, every time something gets difficult for you, you throw the towel in, so you quit. That one's a little bit more common, depending on whether you hang around with many quitters or not. Okay. Number 4, to punch above one's weight. Okay, so obviously boxing's weight categoried. If you're in, it is categoried, but you could be at the low end of the category, it could be at the higher end. So if you're punching above your weight, you are the smaller one fighting the big one, the bigger one in the ring. Memories for all the people of Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. Muhammad Ali was punching above his weight because George Foreman was absolutely huge, and yeah, He managed to win that fight, the Great Rumble in the Jungle fight. But it could be used in other contexts. When you punch above your weight, you hear this in other sports all the time. The little football club with a smaller budget is managing to be successful in comparison to the big clubs with the big money. You say, this team is punching above its weight, they're doing brilliantly well with the resources they have. So that comes from a smaller boxer being able to beat up a bigger boxer. It doesn't happen a lot because usually they're the same kind of size, but this idea of being able to punch above your weight is about having less resources but doing well with your resources and competing with people at a higher level. Could be doing this in the business world. You'd be like, we're a small business, but we can challenge the big companies for the contracts and stuff. So you can punch above your weight. Number 5, as mentioned in number 3, when I said throw the towel in, people in your corner. So when the round finishes in boxing, they retreat to the corner and they'll have their coach, they'll have a doctor, a trainer, whoever they have with them. The people that support them through things are the people who are in your corner. Any situation who you have in your corner, be your friends, your family, people who are on your side and are there to support you, are people who are in your corner. You could be in somebody else's corner as well if you're giving them support, advice, generally defending them in situations. So that's quite a common one, this one, possibly the most common of the ones I've mentioned. I hope you found this interesting. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.